ExeKiller is an upcoming game described as a retro-futuristic western set in a post-apocalyptic alternate timeline, which, first off, sounds awesome, but a lot of the game will take place in a harsh world in a semi-open world environment. ExeKiller was inspired by Cyberpunk 2077 and Red Dead Redemption. I never really thought that a cowboy cyberpunk game would be a thing, but here it is. You bounce between different kinds of locales as you're playing, from heavily populated urban areas to the vast wasteland outside of the city, and you'll have to explore those places while getting ambushed not only by enemies, but by the environmental hazards as well, including the weather itself. The decisions that you make will affect how different NPCs react to you, and will open up different endings depending on what you do overall. Beyond just traversing on foot, you'll also have access to a vehicle that is necessary to explore the world. The area outside that they've shown is a harsh, scorched desert, and some of the conditions you would not survive for long outside of your car due to the heat and the radiation. The actual gameplay is a first-person shooter style that makes the inspiration from Cyberpunk very clear, all with their own cowboy-style flourishes, and you have a wide variety of weapons to fight with, from your trusty revolver to explosives and thrown weapons. Your character is clearly augmented. You'll be able to swap your vision so you can see electrical systems, for example. There are, of course, lock-picking systems, and you'll have to watch out for radiation while you're exploring. You can see that the game also takes inspiration from Fallout and the freedom that you have to explore the wasteland and some of the hazards that you can expect. So you have this interesting combination of cybernetics and hacking in this post-apocalyptic world that I find really compelling, and they've also talked about how that world is sort of ruled by these mega corporations who have led everything to this point. And the character that you play is actually a corporate bounty hunter, so you'll start out taking on missions from corporations to kill people, but the actions that you take will be your choice. This is meant to be a non-linear experience with different dialogue choices that give your decisions weight. You can either go in guns blazing and taking out everyone you see, or sometimes you can try to talk things out. So you aren't just killing people. When you take them out, you have to collect their soul biochips, which have information from their owners, biochips that are, of course, produced by the major corporations that rule the world. Now, obviously, as I often say when I highlight games from indie developers, you have to keep in mind that this is their first game. So they're a pretty unproven studio that is trying to do something very ambitious. And not only that, but the leaders of the project are not well-known veterans of the gaming space. What they are is successful artists, designers, and they've done work in film and stuff like that. So while they almost certainly have the passion and the art chops to do something, it's unclear how that will translate to game development. So while I'm excited to see how this game works out, I'm also cautiously optimistic. I would always recommend that people wait for reviews to see what people say about a game like this before spending your money on it. There are so many elements in ExeKiller that I'm seeing that I have loved in a variety of other games. This game is basically right inside of my wheelhouse for the kind of game that I get excited about. Cyberpunk ended up being one of my favorite games of all time. I'm a huge Fallout fan, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably a top 3 all-time game for me. So in theory, I should be exactly the audience that ExeKiller would be aiming for. So one of the main things I'm going to be keeping an eye on is how do they make me care about the things that I'm doing in this game? Because I'm already into the premise. I already feel like the gameplay is going to be pretty solid from everything that I've seen, but what I'm lacking right now is a reason to care about what's going on. So that's what really separates the heavy hitters in this kind of game from the ones that are kind of forgettable. There are plenty of different ways to do that. You can make amazing characters to interact with and get me hooked on finding out what happens to those characters. You can create a mystery that I need to solve, so I get really involved in that. Or you can make a world that is so compelling that I feel like I need to explore every nook and cranny of that and see what is out there. As of right now, ExeKiller is now really on my radar. I'll be waiting to see exactly what direction they'll be going to make me care about the game, and hopefully they have something amazing in mind, and it ends up being the start of a great run of games for them. There's currently no date set for release. They recently partnered with a new publisher, who they've said is giving them more resources to continue development. So this could be a while out still before we actually get our hands on it, but you can wishlist ExeKiller on Steam to keep track of whenever they decide to put the game out. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.